Hi everyone, it's Joy. Thank you so much for stopping by and watching. This channel was created to share my grief journey with you. We just lost our daughter in September of 2023 to epilepsy, and I feel like God has put it on my heart to share this with you guys. My hope is that maybe you can get some comfort to know that you're not alone in this, because this is a very lonely journey. Even though you have people that love you and are surrounding you and caring for you, or maybe you don't. Either way, it feels lonely. I do want to talk about, because the holidays just passed, because our daughter passed in September, so the holidays came up on us very quick, and I'm sure it probably doesn't matter when somebody passes, the holidays probably feel the same way. I'm only speaking from my experience. I know everybody's grief journey is different, what that looks like, what that feels like. I do think that we have a lot of things in common, but I know that everybody grieves differently, and there's nothing wrong with that. So the holidays, I know for me, when I was anticipating the certain days coming up, it felt really, really difficult. And then sometimes when the day came, I was kind of numb and just really didn't feel anything. And then the next day or the day after, then it would really hit me, and it just felt really, really awful. So I think anticipation of these days are really hard, where I thought something was going to feel harder and then it wasn't, and that was really nice. And then there was other things that I didn't expect to feel, and it was much harder. On Thanksgiving, we alternate years at our house or at my husband's family's house, and this year happened to be not at our home, which at first I thought was going to be great, because I thought, gosh, how are we supposed to have people come here and then our daughter's not here, and how's that going to feel? That's going to feel awful and horrible. So there was a huge part of me that looked forward to going to my in-laws' house, and I did make a little bit of food to take over there, and I thought, okay, but right before it was time to leave, it started to feel really difficult, like I just didn't want to go. And my husband kind of felt the same way, but my oldest son and my daughter-in-law and my granddaughter were coming, our youngest son, all the cousins were over there, and so I knew that we needed to go for them. And when we drove over there, they only live a few minutes away, but I could not get out of the car. It was the oddest thing. I just couldn't, and I just did not want to leave the car. And I realized later it was because it was going to make it feel real that she's not here, that our daughter is not here, and this is one of many holidays that she's not going to be here for. Thankfully, my son pulled up, my granddaughter, she's just 2.5. And I got out and I went and got her, and I thought, gosh, if I'm holding her, she's just this light little airy feeling, and I thought that would be great to, bring her in, and how good that would feel. And it did for a minute, and then it didn't. And we were there for about a couple hours, and I really felt like a deer caught in headlights the whole time. I felt like if I moved physically, I was gonna fall apart. So I just kind of sat in the chair, not wanting to get up and move. And that was an odd sensation. And one of my sweet sister-in-laws came over and just started talking about Jordan, which I really appreciated. And some people may feel like they can talk about their loved one, and some people feel like they can't. My husband and I are definitely wanting to talk about Jordan a lot. Even if it makes us cry, I just feel like I have to talk about her. So she did, and that was really wonderful. And then the family said, let's take photos. I just did not want to take a first family photo without her. But again, I have other children, and I had to. And we did, and I'm sure that later I'll be grateful for that, but that was incredibly difficult. And after about 2 hours, I just kind of had my limit. I just couldn't take feeling like I was going to fall apart. and crumble to the ground any second. So my husband and I left. My oldest son and his wife went to her family's house, and my husband and I came home, which was kind of a big relief because I feel like we could just fall apart here at the house. And I'm sure that you have felt this way. I'm sure you feel like it's hard to leave your home sometimes. You just don't know what's going to set you off, and you could be in the middle of the grocery store and you just don't know, where you're at, and that is understandable. This is a shock to the system for sure. This is nothing you've ever experienced before, ever, to this kind of degree. Her birthday is in December, and of course, you dread that. My mother-in-law was an absolute sweetheart and sent a ton of balloons. My sister-in-law sent a balloon, sent flowers. I knew I wanted to have flowers. Her favorite flowers are lilies, which happen to be mine too, so that's just really kind of a sweet thing. And she loves purple. And my mother-in-law sent some flowers. We had neighbors bring over flowers, and that was really nice because I had planned on buying some flowers, but as that day rolled around, I'm like, I don't even want to go into the grocery store. That just feels so hard. So I would say maybe if you're in a situation like that, you could always ask somebody, can you go get this for me? Because people, I know for sure, want to help and they don't know how. And sometimes I think on our end, we don't know what we need help with either. So I was really glad that that was sent. I was very thankful for that. So we had those, and we decided to eat her favorite food. She loves sushi, so we decided to eat that. But other than that, we really didn't. We just kind of did the day. My husband did stay home from work that day because it just was hard. And then, of course, Christmas came, and that was hard. The week before Christmas, I really couldn't function very well, if I'm being honest. I sat on the couch. I did a little bit of work that I could do, but I just couldn't get my brain to think about things. I couldn't really pull a whole lot of thoughts together, and it was for a whole week, and that's just not usually like me. Of course, this is an extremely different situation. And then I perked up a little bit a couple days before Christmas Eve. And we usually have a dinner and celebrate and do all of those things. And that was gonna feel very hard, and it was extremely hard that day. We played games. I decided even a month before that I wasn't gonna cook. I didn't think that I was gonna feel up to having the pressure of making the food, so I didn't. I said, can we just order some food and take out, bring that home, because I didn't want to be at a restaurant either. And so we did do that, and my oldest son and his family came, which was nice, and we played games on Christmas Eve. I did not make any of the games from previous years. I did some different things because I just needed that to feel a little bit different. What I've noticed is that some things needed to feel similar and then other things needed to feel different, but I didn't want to avoid everything because I feel like if we avoid it, we're gonna feel it at some point no matter what. I just don't want it to come back and get me, if you know what I mean. So we went through that. It's just past New Year's, and this feels really hard. This is a new year that my daughter is not in. And I was kind of dreading this. And the only word that I can use is that it's starting to feel permanent right now. Like, even though the holidays were hard and difficult, weirdly, there was a distraction because it's like you were dealing with that holiday or that birthday, not the whole of it in some sense, is what it felt like for me. And now there's no distractions. Now it's time to just sit in this permanent situation that feels so difficult and so hard and so heartbreaking. And you miss your loved ones so bad. I miss my daughter so much. And so that definitely is something that I need strength, and I definitely need strength from the Lord. I need his comfort. I need to know, well, I do know. I need to lean into him, which is what I've been doing more so now than I ever have in my entire life. The moment that my daughter passed, and I talked about this in my first video of the miracles of his peace that we felt. I have to be in his presence every single day. I don't know how I could do this without his presence. And so I'm really thankful that he gave us his word, because it means so much to me. I do have a couple Bible verses to share with you. John 16:33. This is Jesus talking. I love seeing all the red in my Bible when Jesus is talking. He says, I have told you these things so that in me you may have peace. In this world you will have trouble, but take heart, I have overcome the world. I have thought about that Bible verse so much going through this, that this is a fallen world and we are going to have a hard time. And part of that is you're going to grieve and you're going to have sorrow. And he's saying, but don't worry about that. Lean into me. And for me personally, that has helped. It does not change how much I miss my daughter. It doesn't change how sad I am about that. But it gives me a place to go in that sadness, in that sorrow, in that grief. I have somewhere to go with that. I have something to read that tells me that he's here for me. Then I have one more. This is Isaiah 41:10. Let's see. Isaiah 41:10. So do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. I love that. I think about that one too a lot, because I think that having that anticipation of the hard days, it's fear. I felt fearful of what I was going to feel in those days. So having that fear on top of having the grief and the sorrow, it does not feel good. And so I'm really, really trying to listen to that, what God is saying when he's saying, don't be fearful. I really am trying to apply that. When Christmas was coming up and I was having that hard week, and I think I mentioned that I kind of perked up, I really sat and thought, okay, if I allow myself to just be fearful of the feelings that are coming, I'm going to make it worse for myself. It's going to feel how it's going to feel that day. I'm going to try not to anticipate horrible things beforehand. So that's something I'm definitely going to try. Thank you guys so much. I hope that something was helpful in this to you. I hope that you felt some comfort. Please know that you are not alone. God loves you so much and he is here for you. If you guys want to comment below, please feel free to, and I will get to it as soon as possible, either directly commenting you or addressing it in the video. Please be patient with me, because again, I'm at the very beginning of this grief journey and I might have days that just feel too hard to do that, but I will absolutely do that. Thank you again for watching. I just pray for strength and for comfort for you today and in the days coming, and I will be back with another video soon.